What's up, fellow lords of gaming? So got an interesting question today about Omega cards, and we're gonna kind of dive in. I'm gonna try to get this in 15 minutes or less. So let's talk about Omega cards really quickly. I think I'm gonna have to break this video down or into multiple videos because I think it's a collective series, especially if there's specifically questions driven towards specific characters and which cards you want to have. But we're gonna jump into this as much as possible. So A, are you a whale? If you are a whale and you're purchasing cards and doing the draws from the set from the store, then you probably already understand that the best cards that you can equip would be some amalgamation of all six of the top I think it's eight special cards inside here. So you just equip, because the set bonuses aren't going to override the stats that you're going to get from the cards in the special cards individually themselves. Okay, are you a pay-to-play player? You know, mini whale, dolphin like myself, right? If you're a dolphin like me, then you know what you need to do is, what did you pay and what did you get? Because if I got certain cards, then I'm going to work on those, and I'm not going to try to, like, you know, play on something or hunt for something that I didn't get. So I'll show exactly what I mean by that. So, and do that by looking at my specific card set alone inside here. So for instance, me being a mini whale or a dolphin, whatever the fuck you guys want to call me, right? I got two special cards. I got the Captain Marvel card and I got the Captain America Living Legend card. The Captain Marvel card came with a PvP damage increase stat on it, defense peers, and a dodge rate, and then gave me air to surface damage. The air to surface damage is not that great of an ability because Doctor Strange basically has to be in the air in order for that to work. Well, he's not taking flight unless I put him in flight, which doesn't really work for me if I'm putting the game into autoplay. So then we look at certain my Captain America Living Legend. Well, this motherfucker gave me attack, max damage rate, dodge rate, and a PvP damage increase. Holy shit. Thank you, my man. Right? That was a really good roll on a card set. So did I fight to keep the Dark Zone number 5 set going because of I had most of these cards but I was missing in Doctor Strange? No, because I have 5 of the 6 cards needed for this set. But guess what? I'm not going to put 5 cards on the set and then put the Captain America Living Legend because it's not a bonus for having 5 cards. I only need to have 4 cards from this set. Now, if you looked at this whole set overall, the War of Realm cards would probably be a better equip than either the Giant Man, which is a defense stat, or the Thor card, which is a guard damage decrease stat, right? But unfortunately is not, because when I look at some of the bonus stats and I look at the bonus stats and the exclusive stats that I have from the other 2 cards versus the War of Realms card, the other ones are better. So therefore I can't equip that card, right? Now, the auto equip button right here does do a really decent job at pushing into cards that are going to boost your power level most. So, you know, hitting auto equip will show you the best cards that you should have in slot in order to max out your power rating, not necessarily to min max your character build, however, though, right? So you have to pay attention, and this is why I say I'm gonna have to get into the card sets a little bit more deeply, because min maxing is a little bit different than just natively increasing your power ranking, right? So this is a set that you would see across the board if you were a pay to play player like me. So I have 4 cards to complete the 4 set bonus of getting defense and HP here, and then I have 2 cards to increase to get the attack set over here. The same thing applies with this card, right? The best card that I have out of the 2 slot cards is the Thor the Mighty Thor Shattered Heroes card, right, which is giving me a super villain damage bonus, max damage rate, and a PvP damage increase. However, I think the card right here that would be best out of the 6 to have equipped is the critical damage stat, especially if I can get good bonus stats on them and a good exclusive stat on it as well. But I have this card, but I have to raise it up to 5 stars. So it's one of those things I'm working on to combine and get. So you have to pay attention to certain things like that. Now, let's talk about free-to-play players, right? So out of the sets that are listed, there's going to be other sets inside here that's not these, right? So you can see it says New Stark City number 2. There's going to be obviously a New Stark City number 1, so forth, blah, 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 like that. And you can basically see those cards by coming underneath your activity log, for instance, right? So I'm inside New Stark. I don't know why I went to the activity log. I meant to say collection, right? And then I can look at my Omega cards. So you can see New Stark City #2 has actually 2 cards inside of here, 2 groupings of cards, right? And you got the Kingpin set that's inside here. New Stark City #2, you see those cards right there, right? And then it has this New Stark City #1, which is normal cards, right? And you can see they just have 1 stat and then those. So you don't really want to be concerned with these like New Stark City #1s because they don't have bonus stats equipped to them. Collecting them is mostly just for collecting the gems and the squad rank XP. So what you're really paying attention to is the card sets that are listed inside of here. Okay, so basically if I'm looking at these card sets, now I'm looking as a free-to-play player, which of these cards am I actually most likely going to get inside this game, right? Now, I can tell you that there's 2 card sets inside the game that you almost certainly as a free-to-play player will get, and that's going to be Xandurf and then Midgardia #4. I think these are probably the best cards in the game for free-to-play players because they come with a good mix of attack and HP. I value those stats over defense, and then it's also giving you critical damage and critical rate, right? So individually looking at some of the cards, they have really good stats: attack, defense, HP, and more critical damage, right? And then I look at these, it's got HP and attack as a set bonus, and then it has defense, pierce, max damage rate, super villain damage, and attack, right? So if I was looking at this set, one of the things I'd probably be looking at is maybe doing a mix match between these 2 sets, right? And getting those cards because it would really help. However, there's another good card set that's inside here, right? And I believe it's this one right here, Sakaar #2. And this is why I say I'm probably going to do another video for certain players, or, you know, to discuss certain players and min-maxing. Because looking at Sakaar #2, that dodge rate with the 5.8% and that status effects resistance was 16.17% doesn't necessarily look juicy as just putting attack on my cards, or increasing critical damage, or increase critical rate, or increasing those kind of stats. But if I was playing a character like Spider-Man, those stats look really good to me, because if I looked at dodge rate and I go, wow, dodge rate and static effects resistance, so I can stop certain things like stuns and things like that or whatever, and I get a dodge rate increase, which is a good stat for Spider-Man in first place. And then I look at the individual cards, meaning, hey, look, I'm getting an HP bonus boost from this card, I'm getting an attack stat bonus from this card, I'm getting a defensive pierce, and I'm getting another attack stat from this card. Now those cards become even juicier for a character like Spider-Man, right? That doesn't mean that this can't work for other players, but I'm just saying Spider-Man dodge rate is innate to him, so having the 5.8% dodge from here could be something that takes him over the edge, right? Whereas if I was looking at something else for another player or another character, there could be something different that's really helping me out there, you know, like Iron Man, I think, works really well with this set with critical damage and critical rate, because he really does some major hits, especially on his Unibeam skill, right? So like, that's what I mean by that. So you're playing around with certain stats inside there, and it's kind of important to play off of that, because it's understanding like certain characters, certain cards, because when you get into min-maxing, certain cards are going to have better stats for you than other cards are going to have, and that becomes a whole entirely different play. And I think you kind of only want to really play with that once you get to like a certain power level, and you start having an understanding for those stats. Because like, for instance, playing Marvel Future Fight and coming over to Marvel Future Revolution, I've already said this game feels like Marvel Future Fight 2.0, and I think there's going to be skills added as new players and new characters are added, new characters are added into the game, where like, for instance, you know, all defense down was a stat that, you know, helped us bring down boss damage and stuff like that, but also applied in other areas. So I didn't, you know, all defense down was one of those things. Pierce was a skill that was added to break through to defense, which, you know, highly valued attack over, you know, defense greatly. So that's one of the reasons why in my mind I devalue defense as a stat so much inside the game. Those are the kind of things that you're playing around with inside this game, min-maxing those numbers and values. So like, to wrap things up and talk about it in this way, I'm going to say that this is really a matter of where you are in the game with Omega cards, where you are at this current point, what character you have, and what are you trying to complete and do with that character? Because different character builds are going to potentially weigh themselves differently. So for instance, I'll give you the perfect example. Dark Zone number 4 is a really fucking good card set. It's a really good card set. Unfortunately, it requires 2 cards that I have yet to get, which is Amazing Spider-Man and Black Widow. When you look at the attack stat on Spider-Man and the critical damage on Black Widow, and then look at the Kingpin card, the Captain America card, the Dark Avengers card, and the Ultimate Gauge Recovery and Future Perfect, this is a really good set, right? Especially with attack, defense, Pierce, HP increase. However, I honed in on Dark Zone number 5 because it was giving PvP damage decrease, HP, and defense, right? Now, why did I go there? Because this had a PvP damage increase as well, cooldown decrease, bar damage decrease, HP recovery, and defensive stat, right? So this one was more keened off of how I was looking at playing my Doctor Strange, with trying to max out cooldowns, aka the Doctor Strange card, to get a cooldown decrease on my card, and balancing out PvP damage decrease and PvP damage increase as well. So it was a balance between those, because I was looking at, hey, I'm going inside Dark Zone and I'm getting my ass handed to me by other players inside there because I'm not doing these. This was the best way that I could basically mitigate those damage numbers. So you kind of see where that's going with that, right? But like I said, I think I'm gonna have to get deep down into this, but I think the nitty gritty is there are a few card sets inside here that I highly value in order to finish out this video. If you're playing as a free-to-play player, Xandurf and Midgardia are 2 of the best card sets. Xandurf number 2 and Midgardia number 4, 2 of the sets that I would highly focus in on. If you are a pay-to-play player and you are not a whale, depending on what cards you get is going to depend on the set you have. But I think, in my opinion, Midgardia number 2, Sakaar number 4, definitely in the top of those card books if you get them. And then Dark Zone number 4 and Dark Zone number 5, especially if you plan on playing in Dark Zone or focusing in on PvP. I think those are probably like some of the best sets in the game right now. I would probably not wage towards some of the other sets, but if you got cards from there, obviously, you know, not bad deals at all. They just seem to have zeroed in focus. So I'm going to probably do a review of pretty much all of these card sets inside of here as a follow-up video, and I hope that the content series on Omega cards kind of intrigues you guys, so that way you come back. I appreciate all the likes, the subscribes, and the comments in the section below. Stand by, because I'm going to definitely give you guys some more Omega cards. But there goes my top list. Xandurf number 2, Midgardia number 2, Midgardia number 4, Sakaar number 4, and then Dark Zone 4 and 5. Take a look at those card sets and see what you have there, but definitely Xandurf number 2 and Midgardia number 4 if you're free to play, and maybe with some mix of Sakaar number 2 as well, because you could pretty much do a 2 set here, a 4 set here, or a 4 set here, and do some kind of mix of those depending on how you choose to play. But I'll go into more depth in those in more videos later. I hope this guys helps you. I'll try to get another video out about the Omega cards tomorrow after this one is released, so stand by for those, because I definitely think this is a pretty good conversation. There was I'll have to find it and I'll mention it in the next video. There was a spreadsheet done by someone on Reddit, can't remember who, that basically did a breakdown of all the cards and where you could farm them. So I'll include that if I can find it inside the Reddit section. I don't spend a lot of time on there because it can get very toxic, but I'll find it and I'll try to attach it to the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. I really want to get this this giveaway done for you guys, so let's try to get these numbers up to 100 as soon as possible. I definitely have the viewership, the number of views here for you guys to be subscribing. I just need you to subscribe, and I promise when we hit 100, I'm going to do a giveaway, so hopefully you can buy some shit inside this game. All right, guys, until next time, peace.